I'd first like to start by saying thank you for using the Simply Canvas and Simply Color video tutorial system. My name is Emily Sullivan, and this video tutorial is designed to show you how to prepare a file in Photoshop for a digital stretch wrap. So we are going to go ahead and get started. What I've already done is to open my file in Photoshop, and I'm going to take the bottom right corner of the image. You can see that my cursor is hovering over it right now, and I'm just going to pull it over to the right, just so that we aren't distracted by my desktop and so that we have a little bit more palette room to play around with the image. So we're going to be taking a couple steps in order to apply the digital stretch. The first is to size the image appropriately. The second is to size the canvas. And then finally we will apply that digital stretch. So getting started, we're going to come to Image, scroll down to Image Size, and the first thing we're going to do is make sure that the Resample Image box remains unchecked. What that's going to do is lock in your pixel dimensions that you can see at the very top, as well as lock together your width, height, and resolution, so that if you change one, they all change proportionally. So the first thing that we're going to do is to change our longest dimension. The canvas that I'm looking to make will be a 16 by 20. We will have to add an additional 2 inches per dimension, which we will be doing when we change the canvas size. So for right now, we're just going to change the dimension to 16 by 20. Fortunately for us, this image is already properly sized at 16 by 20, so I don't have to go any further in order to achieve that. The last thing is to take note of the resolution. It is right now set at 300 ppi, or pixels per inch. We are not changing the resolution until we have completed all of the digital stretch on our borders, so we are going to leave that as is right now and click OK. So once we do have the image sized properly, the next thing we're going to do is to come over into our Layers palette. You can see mine on the right hand side of my screen. If your Layers palette is not currently visible, you're going to come up to Window, scroll down to Layers, click on it, and your Layers palette will appear for you. So I'm going to find this layer named Background and double click it, and it's asking me now to rename it Layer 0, which is fine. I'm going to click OK. What that's done is to remove the image from being locked. There was a little lock logo sitting right there, and this is now a workable layer. So now that that's completed, I'm going to come back into Image, and now this time I'm going to find Canvas Size. I am going to make sure that the relative box remains unchecked and that the anchor point is in the center. And at this point what we have is an image and a canvas size that are identical. And what we want to do at this point is to change the canvas size to be 2 inches larger per dimension than the image. So what we're going to do is change this to a 20 by 24. Click OK, and you'll see that an extra 2 inches per dimension has been added. At this point, we are now going to pull in our guides. Our guides come from our rulers, so we're just going to pull down from our rulers, and we're going to pull them into 2 inches from the edge of the canvas. So once I'm right there at the 2-inch mark, I'm going to hold Shift and let go of my mouse. That's going to just snap that ruler, or rather the guide, right to that 2-inch mark. I'm going to do the same at the bottom. Once I get onto the 22, I'm going to hit Shift and let go. And the same for the sides. Shift, let go. And one more at 18 inches. Shift and let go. So these guides are just going to remind us of where our canvas is going to turn at a 90-degree angle, and where our digital stretch will actually be applied. So at this point we are going to go ahead and start applying our digital stretch. What we're going to do is to come up into our Tools palette and find our Marquee tool and make sure that our rectangular marquee is selected. We are simply going to take a portion of our image and select our Marquee tool around it. Once we've done that, we're simply going to come up into Edit, Free Transform, and you'll see that handlebars have now appeared around that shape. So it's very important at this point that you hold down the Shift key, and we're going to find the top center handlebar and just pull it forward. Holding that shift key is just going to make sure that the shape doesn't get distorted in any way. So you're just going to pull it until it fills out that whole canvas side. And once you are happy with that transformation, you're going to come up to the check box and just click that. And we will get rid of our marquee. And at this point, we're simply going to go around to all of the other sides, selecting with our marquee just a little portion of the side of the image, and coming into Edit and applying a free transformation. And once again, I'm going to select that outermost handlebar and hold Shift and just drag that selection down until it just fills out that portion of the canvas. And when I'm happy with the transformation, we click that we are okay with the transformation and to apply it. And again, we're going to come around to the sides and just select a portion of that whole side of the image. Go up to Edit, Free Transform, hold Shift, and drag that out. Once again, hit Apply. And one side left to go. Edit, Free Transform, holding Shift and dragging out. And hit Apply. So now we have our digital stretch. You can see that that digital stretch portion does become quite distorted in some areas. However, I will remind you that the front face of your image will remain completely untouched. So at this point we need to go back into image size. And we have one final step, which is to change our resolution. And we do want to now at this point have resample image rechecked. And what we're going to do is just highlight that resolution and change it to 100 ppi. Here at Simply Canvas and Simply Color, we do use software called RIP software, and that allows us to take images that are sized at 100 ppi and enlarge them quite large without compromising any of the image quality or risking pixelation or noise. So once that's happened, we are going to come down to the bicubic selections and open that up, and we are going to choose bicubic smoother. This original image was a 16 by 20. We have enlarged it to 20 by 24. So we do want to select bicubic smoother, which is best for enlargement. And once we've done that, we're just going to click OK. We'll take just a moment to apply the save. I'm just going to enlarge my image so we can see the whole thing. And our final step is to save the file. So I'm going to do a save as, and I'm going to call this Rider Digital Stretch 16 by 20. And I am going to save it someplace that's going to make it easy for me to find, so I'm going to save it onto my desktop. And also I'm going to save it as a JPEG. We do ask that you send your files in to us as a JPEG, and that you send them in as the highest quality JPEG possible, which is a quality number 12. If some other quality were showing up right here, you would simply fill in a 12, or you could use this scroll bar, pull it all the way to the right, and that will pull the quality up to 12 as well. Click OK. You should now at this point be able to find your image on the desktop, and it is now ready to upload into Rows. So once again, this has been the video tutorial for applying a digital stretch to an image. I thank you for spending your time with me, and we look forward to doing business with you in the future.